Because what we notice like modern dating has become is two flawed individuals, because we are all flawed in a sense, right?
Human.
With carrying like sky-high expectations of a perfect romance we see on social media. What is wow, beautiful people going on vacations, etc. That's what sells, right, in social media, right? But yet, with little self-awareness, you don't really know much about ourselves, and little skill sets in terms of how you navigate challenges, conflicts, and those are aplenty in relationships in general. What does that form? What does it give us? It gives us a disastrous situation, isn't it?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Jing, and welcome to this episode of Clean Your Toilet Podcast. Here with me, I have Zhi Qun. A bit of introduction. Zhi Qun here is co-founder of KopiDate, and he is part manager, part engineer, part coach, part writer. He's everything. He does everything. And outside of work, he is also a father and a very loving husband. Yeah, so Zhi Qun really, enjoys solo traveling, and he really loves to read books. So much so that he always brings books wherever he goes. But sometimes it always ends up in the bag somehow.
Just for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Jing, for the introduction. I prepared something fun for her as well. So this is Jing, right? She's someone who needs all her devices and also the spare batteries charged at all times, right? She prides herself as one of the most thoughtful gifters, right? She gives very good gifts, and she used to run a very popular popular ever-loving Tumblr fan page, which she's still very proud of, I believe. And yeah, back in her teens, and of course, she's a new mother and my partner in crime, co-founder of KopiDate. Yes. So maybe just quick on KopiDate. So KopiDate is a platform that helps singles to get into healthy relationships. Our mission is to inspire as many people as possible to build more quality relationships in general, which I think is getting more and more rare these days. Right. So yeah, and of course, we have our guest here today, Ben.
Hello. Hi guys. I'm Ben, also known as the Smiling Afro. I'm a full-time content creator, and I'm a host and also a presenter sometimes, an actor. He has always been in the media scene, and I'm very excited to be here today to hear from you guys and to learn more. It's just for first question. Because you were saying that introducing him as a father, blah blah blah, and then you introducing him as a mother. So are you all together?
Yes, we are.
No. Okay. Yes. Okay. I just want to make sure because it was no explicit. And we husband wife. It was like, he's a father, I'm a mother. So I'm like, just in case it's like, no, we're never dating, never. Yeah.
Yes. Of course.
Nice.
We have partners, right?
Nice.
And So. I think one thing that when I first come here, this is the first time meeting you, Ben. So nice to meet you, right?
Yes.
Love your hair, love your outfit in general. So I was first thinking this is almost like a blind date in general, almost like a KopiDate, right? Where I get to know you for the first time round and get to know you a little bit better and discover everything that all your past experiences and we learn a lot.
It's a fun fact. I've never been on a blind date.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think I just never wanted to. I don't like to not know what I'm getting into before I get to usually. Except for this podcast. Okay, because we're not like trying to get a relationship or potentially, right? We're just learning about things. But for a relationship, I'm like, no. I always tell people, don't blind date me. You show me. Tell me the background first. Yeah, I've heard of KopiDate before.
Oh,
that's cool.
Yeah, definitely. I'm in Singapore, right? So I would know.
Nice.
Cool. So I'm very excited to know more.
Cool. Yes. Maybe we can start off today's theme from producers is that this is a theme about shadows of relationship, right? A very interesting and somewhat dark, intriguing kind of topic to get into, right? And we would love to start off with relationship first because shadow, first conversation, we talk about all the dark stuff a bit not appropriate. So let's talk about relationship first, right?
Yes.
So Ben, tell me, what does the word relationship play in your life at this point of time right now, right? Who are your most important relationships in general?
Wow, I would say the most important relationship in my life, or relationships, right? Family-wise, my dad. Right, so he's my father, right, and I look a lot like him, so I know he's definitely my father, so it's good. And
He has big hair as well?
if he grows it out, but he's never growing out because corporate world, right?
Got it,
I'm in the media scene, so I can
be more expressive.
Be more expressive, right?
Yeah.
But it's very important because, like, I mean, I look up to him, and growing up, I kind of like, he's the one that kind of like challenged me to be more confident and challenged me to be more out there, because I used to have stage fright, everything, and then, but my dad is like confident man, and then there was once maybe like more than 15 years ago, we were at a wedding of my uncle, and then my dad went out on stage. I mean, he got sabotaged to be on stage, and he was doing singing, he was performing, making the crowd laugh.
Nice.
Then he came back, he was like, see, you're gonna be more like your dad. So let's see whether you're really a Byrne. So my surname is Byrne. So you must see whether you're really a Byrne. And it kind of hit me, as a young kid, right? Like, oh my gosh, I need to be like my father, because my father, I need to represent him. Yeah, so my father's one of my most important relationships. Yes, as opposed to a bit closer friends, friends that I trust, friends that I trust with my life.
Got it.
And to share with them a lot of like, personal things.
Cool.
And
That's incredible. Thanks for sharing that. I think it's quite rare to have such a relationship with your father, right? Especially in
Father and
this
son.
father and son, right? Especially in this day and age, right? Where our parents come from the generation where relationship might not be prioritized,
Right.
in a sense, right? And I love that maybe both of you have that intentionality. Has it always been the case where you treasure this relationship with your dad, and you put in the additional effort, and your dad also putting the additional effort to build onto that?
I think growing up, because my dad works overseas, so he's been overseas most of my life, right? And then my mom was one to look after me at the household, like in the home. And so my dad and I relationship is like, we talk like maybe twice a month. Like but last time, no WhatsApp call, nothing. It's an expensive call to the house.
Yeah.
It's all planned out. So everyone must be home. Daddy's gonna call, and we got take turns speaking on the call. It's gonna be a very expensive call.
Sure.
But my mom passed away 13 years ago, and then so I guess I only have left my dad, right? So automatically I became closer because we had to do more.
Got it.
The everything about family and all, and household chats basically, and I guess also WhatsApp came and WhatsApp call and everything, so it made it easier for me to keep in touch with my dad, although it's overseas. So that kind of naturally just we grew closer because of that, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but how about you guys? Well, as like a dating app, like founders, right? So who are the most important people relationship wise in your lives besides each other, if you are each other's important relationship?
Yeah, I mean, besides Zhi Qun, that's obviously right. I think relationship myself is very important because if I don't, become a more intentional version of myself, I find that I'm always living in my subconscious, always doing things that are very familiar, and that is. Sometimes that doesn't really, look too good because I don't behave in the best version of myself. So relationship myself is very important. And then the next one would be relationship with my daughter. I think, although she's very young, I believe that even from the minute she was born, there's so much that you can do that can control her, her attachment style in the future, for example, and shaping her life. So those are the two relationships. What about you, Zhi Qun?
Yeah, I think this is a big topic that we can talk forever in, but I think relationship is very important for us, especially in this season of our life, right? Because we work on relationships in general, right? But we don't used to be the case, right? And KopiDate as a brand don't used to be focused on relationships, right? We kind of like shift our approach along the way as we discover more in our personal lives, right? And I would say the most important relationship at this point of time I have is with my wife, Jing, right? And we've been through a lot, right? From, friends knowing each other from a dating app, fun fact. To, business partners first and friends first and business partners first, right? And which is an interesting dynamic, I feel, right? And going through all the trenches of relationship challenges that one can imagine working with one another, at the same time managing, your personal relationships, and of course the differences from our upbringings to our lifestyle habits to our inner insecurities and all that thrown into each other. Huge mess, right? And gradually kind of untangling that, right? And surviving to what I would say now I'm in a very fortunate position to be able to appreciate my relationship with her and be able to grow my relationship with her. And it's something that I grew to be a bit more proud of, right?
Wow.
And yeah, I would say relationships, at least in over the past 5 years or so, working on KopiDate and also on personal relationships, that becomes the main theme of my life. And and that's where it is to me at this point of time.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, so juicy. So many things to ask about. Yeah. But yeah, trick question. I love it. Trick question. First thing is that relationship most important with myself. I'm like, and I didn't say it. It's not important to me. It's not important to me. My relationship myself, But yeah, wow. Okay. So friends from a dating app. No, it's met through a dating app.
Yes.
But then friends first.
Yes.
And then after that, decide to be business partners.
Yes.
Start KopiDate.
Yes.
And then suddenly in between date.
Yes. Yes.
And then one of the KopiDate success stories.
First success story.
Not just using the app, building the app. I mean, I think as a business owner, it's a great story. Right, to tell people, hey, look, this is our app. Look.
Yeah, that's what we try to position in general. But yeah, I think it's been a tough journey in all honesty. And yeah, at this point of time, we hope to share a little bit more about what we learned through our personal journey as well, and of course through what our professional journey, right? Because at one point of time, we read so much about dating and about relationship, right? We're devouring encyclopedias, the research papers, talking to, professors in schools, to even going to China to attend the matchmaking kind of like markets that they have.
Wow, matchmaking. Oh yes, I've heard of those.
Yeah.
It's so cool, man. I would love to be there and doing a
interesting,
video and then just looking and observing. I think it'd be so fun.
They have like umbrellas and they'll be pasting posters on it, and then there'll be, you think that singles will attend the market, but actually there's a lot of grandparents who actually attend it because they're looking out for their grandkids, which is very sweet.
That's
also.
so cute.
And then singles will hold up a poster and be like, everyone will take pictures and like, this is me, I'm looking for a man who is trust fund.
Yeah. It's fun, but at the same time also can be still a bit more superficial, more commercial, because you're kind of like checking boxes, right? That's the point of a marketplace where you look at things in a manner where attributes, right, instead of understanding the stories and the books.
But I think honestly, one question I have, right, because compared to many other people, I imagine you guys see relationship in a very, very different kind of, I won't say different kind of light, but you've studied so much about it, right? Therefore, I mean, especially when you want to set the app up, right? Human relationships and human characteristics and all. Like, what is one or few major things, major views that you say may differ from before you started on this journey and after you started on this now, basically, KopiDate?
Yep.
Is there anything interesting thing that you can share with me?
Yeah, Ben, it's such a great question because we discovered a lot. Right? And when we first started KopiDate, our main focus is not about relationships. Our main focus is actually about
KPI. No.
Our main focus is actually about, because I first, maybe go a little bit back story. Like I met Jing on a dating app, right? And what impresses me about Jing, right, and why we went on a date is that, you know what's her first line in the app itself?
I'm ready.
Yeah, she says, let's hang out. Right, let's just get it out there and hang out, right?
Yeah, I like that.
I
really like that.
I just feel like sometimes you have to play the game of like texting. It goes on for a week, and I feel like, but then I don't know you as a person, and I don't want to judge you based on that. I want to save the conversation for in real life when I can really dive in as a person. So I'll be like,
Jing, I'm the same.
Yeah.
I always said it, for me, when I was on dating apps years ago during COVID, I was like, I'm very simple. If I swipe, you swipe. You kind of like what you see. I like what I see. We like the profile. We already got an opening message, means okay, we're real people. Our within the second conversation, or I mean the second, third line, I'll be like, so where do you like to hang out? Or
Yeah.
where can I bring you out?
Yeah.
Let's go straight to the point.
Yeah.
Because that's where I can really know you.
That's
Exactly.
true.
If I'm going to do this
Yes.
1-2 week texting and like,
Exactly.
oh, how was your morning? Your mother wake you up. You know,
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yes,
At that point, I still
Yeah.
don't enough to care.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people many people are very different online and in real life, right?
Exactly.
So I don't want to. I was tired of like hearing people speak text.
Yeah.
Like, wow, this guy very interesting.
Yeah.
Very, Then when I meet them in person, it's a totally different
Completely
person.
different. Yeah.
And I wouldn't say I feel cheated, but it's just like, I could have skipped all of that. I just met you straight away, and then at least from there, I learned that you're quieter, maybe.
Yep.
And then I slowly try to bring
Yep.
up rather than all the expectations.
Yeah. Correct.
So I like that the fact she were,
Yeah.
especially coming from the girl. I'll say,
Yeah.
Exactly.
I- I-
Exactly.
And
That
I
was.
get, because I
Yeah.
get to control the conversation. I feel like I'm more, in charge. Usually they think it's like the guys have to, take the charge. But I can do
Yeah,
it myself
yeah.
also, right? And I can, take the
I
lead
mean, that's
and
why
be more intentional about it.
Bumble is technically the girl
Ah,
must
right.
start.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the girl takes charge.
Yes.
Like,
Mm.
which I think is fine.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Yep.
So yes, sorry. So yes, Matt.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then-
yeah. So I think it's very interesting that you guys both agree on like being quick to see each other in real life,
Yeah,
because that's the
like,
reality,
yeah,
right? That's the real thing,
yeah,
right? You
yeah,
want to
yeah.
be together. We can't be texting each other for the entire lives, right? You gotta be,
Yeah.
you gotta be hanging out with each other in real life, and having a
Yes.
sense of each other in
You're not a
general.
dating
and,
profile.
and not a
Right.
dating profile, exactly.
Yeah.
So that was very interesting about her, and we hang out, we become friends. Our first day actually was pretty normal, right? She hit. Just saying that because it feels like but she will agree as well. Like there's not too much like no instant chemistry or spark, etc. But
see.
we hang out as friends, right?
yeah.
And gradually we just let things play out its course, right? And gradually, because of the fact that both of us resonated so strongly with the idea that dating apps is almost like a game, right? If the faster you go offline, the better it is. We started to build this platform called KopiDate, right? So early on, the mission was to bring dates from online to offline, right? And
That's why KopiDate, right?
exactly.
Okay.
Very physical, very
Yeah,
casual,
yeah.
And we give experienced kids to help them to have interesting conversation topics to go a little bit deeper to understand. So almost like a very well packaged and well designed
Designed.
experience that's curated
Yes.
for you in general. Where you just turn up and then have a good time, and it's rather affordable and as compared to many like matchmaking agencies in general, right?
So which year was this that you founded?
That was in 2019, 18, 19, right?
Started off in 2018.
Just before COVID.
Just before
Nice.
COVID,
Nice,
right?
nice,
And you
nice.
can imagine what happened
Yeah,
after that.
yeah.
in general.
Lesser copy dates during COVID, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, during COVID, obviously it was been a very difficult season for many people, right?
Yeah.
And we kind of like pivoted to virtual dates in general, and we kind of like
okay,
delivered
okay.
Deliver coffees to people's homes.
Wait, I think I read about that.
Ah.
I think it
yeah.
was on news
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was on
Yeah.
Straight Stance.
Remember? Yeah. About that's so cool.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
so that people can still connect in general and still meet us not in real life, but at least in real time, right? And have a good sense of how each other is. But quickly, right, along the way, we discovered that actually we received a lot of comments, right, from our members and from some of our users, and pretty nasty comments in general.
Yeah.
Saying that when I first meet this person, she is, not my cup of tea at all. She's not pretty enough. Or this guy, the first moment I met him I had a terrible impression and it didn't work out at all. And that made us realize something, right? And that made us realize that actually the dating scene is pretty ugly in general and can be pretty ugly in general, right? And that moment or period of time has been rather difficult for us, all right, on in general, and we come to a realization where actually maybe meeting people offline is not enough, right? Maybe people.
Wow.
And I'm not faulting them for that, for being
Yeah.
like, I want to meet someone who is like this and like that, right? In general. But maybe people don't have a good understanding of like what they're actually getting into or they're looking to get into in general, right? And then for context, that's also the period of time where Jing and I are evolving ourselves, right? Because we are also, working together and we are discovering and we are getting into lots of conflicts with one another. And that is helping us to grow and learn and discover more about relationships, right? And then we realize that, hey, perhaps there's a better way to approach dating, right? There's a way to approach dating in a manner where it's not so much about choosing the perfect person, but it's more about becoming a better person, so that more people want to, will be attracted to you and more people will want to approach you in general.
Before we dive back in, a quick rinse from our sponsors.
Hi everyone, in the coming season of Clean Your Toilet podcast, we are celebrating voices, causes, and communities that deserve way more love. Because sometimes the most meaningful things are the ones that happen quietly, consistently, and with so much heart.
Yes, and so we're very excited to actually present to you Unpacked. Right, they are Singapore's pioneering zero-waste grocer as well as cafe. It's very exciting because they've been around since 2018.
Yes.
And while we've seen a lot of other grocers close down, they have survived for that long, and they are in a very nice and quiet location in Mandai, near where all the attractions are.
Yeah, the Newburgh Paradise, where the zoo is. So Unpack isn't just about reducing waste, it's also about increasing care. So care for what we buy, how we live, and how our daily choices shape the world around us. And that kind of consciousness, that is what changes tiny habits into big impact.
Their social enterprise built on the idea of every small action can make the world a lot better, for future generations, for you and the people after. What is the experience like here at Unpacked? You actually get to bring your own containers and go around, deciding what you want to pick and fill, right, and bring back home, so that you're part of this joyful moment of living intentionally and making change from all these small actions that you take.
They're also a place where you will find a lot of brands that stand for sustainability, stands for upcycling, really stands for taking care of the world that we live in. So over here, you'll find a lot of interesting products that are upcycled or recycled that have given a new lease of life.
Yeah, I think just walking into the shop itself, I already see there are stuff that look very interesting, the upcycled products that you want to browse through and see whether it's of interest to you to want to buy and add that to your collection at home.
Correct. So it's none of the cookie cutter malls that we have here in Singapore.
Yes.
So definitely make a trip down here to have a look. So today we are actually here to talk not so much about the shopping experience,
but more about the cafe that they started back in 2023. Right. So this cafe section is a new addition to their store, and it brings you a different experience, being able to sit among the lush greenery to experience some nice nibbles, and if you wanted to just hang out here for the day and do work, it's also a nice place to hang out.
So what will happen for the exclusive for our Clean Our Toilet listeners and viewers is that when you come over to the cafe and you say the words Clean Your Toilet podcast when you are making your payment, you will get 15% off with a minimum spend of $15 on weekdays.
And if it's on weekends, it's 10% off, a minimum spend of $15.
Yeah, so just remember to tell the staff at the counter, Clean Your Toilet podcast when you're making payment.
So if you're popping by after a Mandai visit or just having coffee with your friend, reward yourself by being a thoughtful human being. By enjoying some of the treats here and, of course, the discounts that they're giving for your presence here.
So at Clean Your Toilet podcast, just to remind everybody, inner work is very, very powerful and important, and it becomes even more meaningful when it begins to ripple outwards with the actions that you take. Over here at Unpack, this is one of the ways where you can begin to actively practice what it means to be mindful, what it means to take care of the environment, both when you take care of yourself, also when you make conscious purchases and support businesses like Unpacked. So let's support their mission to make the world a better place and create a more sustainable way of life. And don't forget to do your inner work as well.
Yes, because cleaning your toilet is not just about looking inwards, but it's also about how it ripples outwards in the way that you take action, in the way that you shift the world in your own way.
Now back to the rest of the episode.
Interesting. We became inward more than outward.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's not what
Yes.
I want to find, it's more like what I want to be for others.
Yes.
Amazing
Wow.
people attract other amazing people.
Yes, and there's so much that...
But isn't it the trend recently?
Yeah.
The what I don't chase, I attract.
Exactly.
Yeah. Something like that, right? Because what we notice modern dating has become is two flawed individuals, because we are all flawed in a sense, right?
Human.
With carrying sky-high expectations of a perfect romance we see on social media. What is wow, beautiful people going on vacations, etc. That's what sells, right, in social media, right? But yet, with little self-awareness, you don't really know much about ourselves, and and little skill sets in terms of how you navigate challenges, conflicts, and those are plenty in relationships in general. What does that form? What does it give us? It gives us a disastrous situation, isn't it? Where you have expectations, you are flawed, yet you don't have the skill sets, but you have that level of expectations, and when you encounter some level of challenges along the way, people crumble.
Yeah,
That's
and
why.
sometimes they feel like, they go on so many bad dates and then they lose hope and then they stop dating altogether.
It's always the same story though.
sad.
Yeah.
Is it always the same story? I gave up, blah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I always joke like, maybe you the problem.
Yeah. So I mean, in general, that has been our core lessons that we learn, right? And now KopiDate wants to inspire as many people.
Nice.
To firstly prioritize relationship, because there's this Harvard study somewhere, like the longest study through I think 80 years or something, saying that a good relationship actually makes you not only become happier, but also healthier, wealthier, and there's a whole list of things out there.
But ironically, what you just shared, right, it seems like common sense for us humans, right?
Yeah.
Like, what does a good relationship mean to you? Then I'll be happy, I'll be healthier. Everything in my life will just be like, good, because I'm in a good relationship with my partner or my parents or whatever, right? Yeah. But yet, that's so difficult.
Yeah.
So difficult.
It's so difficult.
Because we humans are difficult people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
And
we are innately flawed in
Yes.
different manners, right? We grow up with a lot of our own environments that make us somewhat flawed in a sense, or somewhat unique in a sense. And two people getting to know each other and understanding each other's differences is an incredibly difficult thing to do.
Which is a fun fact also. Like from many years, I've actually said, I'm just looking for my perfect girl. And people will always, standard reply, no one's perfect, Ben. I said, then you don't get my question. You don't get my statement. I'm not looking for a perfect person because there's no such thing. But I'm looking for the perfect girl with all her flaws and all her, all her positive traits. That perfect person that I want to spend my life, with that package. Not the, she's perfect.
Yeah.
Because if she's perfect, she'll be taken a long time ago. I won't no chance. Right, a long time ago, yeah. So, it's the perfect person for me is to understand me and my flaws too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Similar values.
Yes,
I
but I
love
feel
that.
a lot of people, I've noticed, it's the surface perfect. It's like, perfect meaning, look like that, must have this job, yeah, but then the surface, right?
Correct.
So, with that said, right, like, knowing so much about relationships and everything, and like studying so much. So, what does like shadow mean to you guys in terms of relationships? What does the word shadows, what does shadow mean to you?
Got it.
Yeah.
Before we go into shadows, right? I'm curious about your journey in terms of relationships, right? You mentioned that you are.
I was trying to run away from that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Not gonna let Ben wiggle away from this.
What relationship? I don't know.
We gotta put him shine a spotlight.
Yes. So what do you want to know? Yes.
So tell me a bit more about your journey, right? I come to know that you're single, right? Yeah. Tell me a bit more your dating journey, right? How did you evolve along the way, right? And at what stage are you at, in terms of dating or in terms of relationship with a potential partner?
Right.
Yeah.
So I think maybe when I was very young, actually, like 20 something, just early 20s, where I realized what I want in my life in terms of a partner, right? And that's why I dated so much since then, but like never really have a long-term relationship because I just kind of know what kind of partner I'm willing to basically. I don't like the word when people use the word. I don't like it when people use the word tolerate, because to tolerate means it's bad, right? So you tolerate somebody, it means it's a bad thing happening, and then you have to I accept it, as opposed to no, just accept it, just to understand it, right? Yeah. So. Yeah, so in the most base level, everyone has this like, what's your top 3 or top 5 non-negotiables?
Sure,
right?
sure.
So for me, it is I'm a guy full of banter, so I love to banter.
Yeah.
So I feel that if my partner and I we can joke around, that's when our relationship will be very healthy. Because that's when honesty comes, right?
Yep.
I don't like to be walking on hot stones all the time.
Yeah, of course.
Because that's parents. It's different. It's parents, you walk hot stones, fine. It's my parents. But for my partner, it's somebody that I can be myself with. So banter is like more or less being myself.
Yeah.
If I cannot be myself, what's the point? Right? And 2 is the level of respect they have. So very simple things like the way they treat staff in a restaurant or cleaners or people in the service industry.
Kindness, respect.
Because this is going to be, I always see it as, let's say, the mother of my kids, right? If I cannot have the mother of my children not respecting people in general, right? And that includes like respecting their elders, their family members, everything, right? No matter how much, yes, there might be trauma or whatever, but there's still a level of like respect. Yeah. And the third one is basically how she views fun.
That's interesting.
Because
Yes.
if I cannot have fun with her,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be everything that I like to do in my life.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to all my hobbies.
Yeah.
But just simple things as like maybe enjoy music together or dancing together. If you can't do that, I know eventually you'll hit a point where I will get the relationship would feel very dry, and I'll be like, oh no, yeah. So I've just been looking for that for a long time. Yeah. And I'll date girls who have that.
Yep.
3.
Yep.
But then on like personality level, we still can't.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but I'm still looking, and I'm very patient. And then I know the aunties will always come to me, you guy, you age like one guy's age. I say, yeah, but that's not my mentality I'm going with lah. I'm not going with the, I can wait all the way until how old. No, it's more like I am looking, but also not rushing.
Of course.
Not desperate. Because I know desperation also will cause me to make bad decisions.
That's true.
And I'll just jump into a relationship like, oh no, I'm lonely and I just want this, and then we fight every day, but at least I'm not alone. So but I'm like, no, why would I need that negative energy in my life, right? Yeah.
Great.
This is my journey so far.
Thanks for sharing.
Yes. I'm not closed off from dating. I will never be the kind of person like, I tried already and then I'm hopeless, the dating pool. I don't want to be single forever. No, I'm not that hopeless guy. I feel that there is someone out there. It's just patience.
Got it.
Yes.
So you're exploring in general and funny. So you mentioned that having a few relationships, I'm going to grill you a bit. That's
Sorry?
what we do. You mentioned you have a few relationships in the past, right?
Yeah, like, but not very long term. Maybe a couple months, everything. We discover and then we're like, okay, we're fighting every day.
Fighting every day.
Yeah,
Nice.
my life, I always tell a lot of my days, my life before meeting you cannot be better than now. Right? If my life before meeting is better than now, then what's the point? Right now I'm more stressed because every time you're like upset about something, Yeah.
Got
So,
it.
yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that.
Hey, no problem. Yes.
The advice I will, and I don't know why I'm I wanted to give advice, but it's just my occupation habits, right?
Sure.
The,
Would love to hear.
the advice I give to people before we got together and we had learning, so be very different from the advice I'll give today and in general, right? Because we interacted with so many members and actually we onboard many of them, right? So we have a slightly more intimate chat with them, right? We discover a little bit more about their their background and context in general, and ask the question, right? That I'm going to ask you, right? Like, what does a healthy relationship constitute, right? In your own opinion, what does that look like in general, in the long term horizon?
Oh, to me, it's honesty and trust. Very basic, honestly. When people also ask me something, what does a healthy relationship to you? Just be honest.
Yep.
That's it. The very base is there, honesty. Honest about your feelings, honest about your thoughts. And if both sides can be honest, and that's when you very early on realize who each other really is, right?
Yep.
And that's when you all can really build together and say, is this what we want to build together with?
Yep.
Because everything else will fall into place, I feel.
Being very transparent with each other, being vulnerable in front of each other.
Everything will fall into place. If you do it early on, then everything will fall into place. Both can make a decision early also, right? Like, I want this. I want this because you're honest. And the fact that even though there's some things that we disagree on, but we are honest about it, so we can work on it together, right? Yeah. It's very base, honestly. Yeah, that's
Nice.
So
that's very simple. It seems that there's a lot of people who are.
No, I honestly feel sometimes the ships are people overcomplicated. They overthink and they overcomplicate as opposed to just, hey, just say, I just feel this way. That's what you know. Yeah, even the way of communication, right? Sometimes some people want to be honest, but it's the way they communicate it. They might seem confrontational, or might seem, I want to tell you something. I said, you don't need to do that. What? Just say, hey, I'll just let you know. This is how I feel. So yeah, so like knowing that you guys have learned so much about relationships, right? And confirm like your view now from the past before starting KopiDate is so different. Like, so what does shadows mean to you in a relationship sense? What does shadow or shadows mean to you?
Yeah. To me, I think shadow is kind of like, it's always present, but it's not very obvious. You don't really look at your shadow all the time. So I think it'll mean something like your attachment style. Basically how your primary caregivers, how you interact with them in general, that can form how you perceive and relationships, right? So I think your attachment style is your shadow. What about you, guys?
Yeah, when the first thing I wrote shadow, I was just chatting with Jing, the night before, right? And the first thing that reminds me is Jing said she's my shadow.
Oh yeah.
Guys.
So he's dressed in white and I'm his shadow.
Hey.
So you can we're the same.
Yeah, and I like that. Like, I think it feels that she's comfortable, right, to be with me, and to she feels safe, right? And I think that's pretty important. But of course, I don't think that's a shadow we are discussing. Shadow to me is maybe something like your inner struggles, right? That you can't shrug away from, right? It's just so persistent, right? And it sticks with you along the way, that you're probably not so proud of, right? Yeah. So to me, a few things comes to mind. I think one of the shadows that I struggle with is the ability to, or the expectations for myself, right? And people can be like thinking like, oh yeah, good one, right? You can strive for better stuff in general. But I feel it's not healthy, right? It's to the extent where I, have a very negative self-thoughts, right? Where the first thing I think of is, why are you not good enough? Right? What can you do better? And what's wrong with you? Right? And why can't you just practice more in general, right? Especially as an entrepreneur, when sometimes I can't help but to compare, right, with my peers. And if you know the entrepreneurial journey, usually you don't earn that much money. In fact, you might even lose money for considerable period of time, right? And you compare to peers who are working in Google, who are working in Amazon, Meta, in general, right? That's not so easy to take, right? And I struggle with that. Right, even to the extent where I think Jing gets affected as well. People around me gets affected because I'm such a negative person to be around, where I'm always criticizing myself and always saying I'm not good enough. And it affects the people around me in general, right? So I gradually try to, find ways to tackle that. And I think I'm a lot better recently, where I practice a little bit of inner work, right, together with Jing. And
we have a balcony, and then he has this card that says, where is your mind right now? And I think that helps him to stay very grounded.
That actually is very good.
Very deep.
Yeah.
Just a small reminder, where is your mind right now?
Yeah. I mean, so maybe for context of that, where's the mind right now is really to remind me to, step out of my, first person view. Like I'm like in the cinema, right? I'm in a movie, right? I'm not, right? Actually, I can think and decide where my mind is, right? And I can control it. I have the ability to control that, right? And sometimes we just are stuck in the movies. And having the ability, or at least the awareness of the perception to change that, to control, to recognize that, I think that helps me a lot. In fact, just before this, we come into this shoot as well, right? Because we're pretty private people, right? Not like Ben was very eloquent and super expressive. So there's a little bit of anxiety, right? In general, I want to make sure that I look well, I speak all the right words, I give all the right points in general. And you feel anxious, right? And sometimes that's crippling, right? So gradually I have the awareness to maybe just meditate on it, reflect on it, and kind of say that it's okay, we can have fun, and I'm here with my beautiful wife and we're on a date.
We're on a date.
So that's my coming back. That's my idea of shadows.
I'm the shadow of the relationship. Following them behind, keep. Yeah. So for me, shadow of in terms of relationships is like, I think simply just being present. Like, casting a shadow on somebody is like, well, but you're present, right?
Yeah.
And then sometimes I feel like I can imagine, when people say, oh, they're not present in my life, there's no shadow at all. So I mean, they can be there,
Yeah.
but there's no shadow, so there's not present. Because I feel like shadow means you're alive, you're living, you're present. Because then when the light shines on you, you're there. But if the light shines and no shadow, means are you really there? Yeah. So the person is just present. So it can be used both ways, right? Like you can say a person is shadowless in my life, so they're just not really physically there, but yet there. Or a person's there's only a shadow of them in my life. So it's a shadow where it looks like them, but it's not really them also. Right. So that's why I view it, shadows in relationship. It's like,
such interesting.
It's whether can go both ways. Yeah. Being present yet sometimes maybe not present at all. Depending on how they phrase it, right?
Yeah, I love that. And I'm curious, like, how do you, are there any things that you're doing actively to stay more present when you're, with your friends or family? Is there any?
I guess, I think about relationships a lot, like with my friends or people, like being present in their lives. Yeah, especially the ones I really care about. So to me, even just the occasional, hey, just thinking about you. So wanting you to have a great day.
Wow.
Yeah, I do have some friends who do that, randomly like, hey bro, what's up? I just want to let you know, have a good day, buddy. We're all having our own challenges.
That's so sweet.
But we're all soldiers.
Yeah.
And he will send me a gif of a soldier going to war. Then you're like, what the else? And then that's showing me that not just shadows in my life, or not just people without shadows in my life. Present. Yeah. So that's how I see shadows in relationships.
I love that.
Yeah. It even works for even just like partners, right? Like, every time I think about relationships, I think about a song, which I can't remember right now. Or was it a song, or is it someone said it like the worst feeling is going home to somebody and feeling alone.
Yep.
And then I remember when I first heard it hurts, man.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Like you're feeling alone in a room when there's someone there.
Yep.
And the thing is that ironically, that feels worse than you being in a room with a stranger. And feeling alone is different feeling from being alone with someone you know and being alone. It's like,
Yep.
This happens to us quite a lot also. Like because we, whenever we spend time together, right, then KopiDates happen on the weekend. That's when we're more free. But then a lot of like things come in and kind of like distracts us from
We're free,
spending
but we're not free.
quality time together. So there's one interesting thing that we did recently, which is we actually went out on a date and we left our mobile phones at home, and it was actually very
that
freeing.
sounds so good.
Yeah, because you get to
Sounds
be
like the
present.
90s.
Yeah.
Take me back to the 90s, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, did you find that as a big issue in like new relationships because the phone is so accessible in this generation?
100%.
Do you feel that it really affects it negatively?
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking about the other day, like literally the other night, right?
Yeah.
Like back in the days, right, when you go on a date, you have that precious couple of hours or how many hours with the girl, the boy, and to really spend the most time you have.
Yeah.
And because when you leave, you won't see the face until the next time, if they do show up again. But like, I feel that our parents time, whatever, or the people in the 90s, they really treasure the relationship, the time.
Yes.
Because it's so important.
Yes.
Because when you go home, it's one house phone.
Yeah.
Maybe you can call each other, but things that other people want to use the phone,
Yes.
or things that the household is in the middle of the living room, you don't ever want to hear your cheeky conversation. So, but yet when you meet, it's so precious. Yeah, but now it's so easy to talk all day long, which I feel is good and also bad thing. Because you take away from the beauty of like the precious moments together. I feel I was literally thinking about the other day, should I be always constantly messaging someone that I like every day, out every hour, every second, and then I see them and we go home and also, but there's no break of like that will make the absence make the heart grow founder, right? Is that to make that heart feeling founder. And what's your opinion, guys, about that in the modern world of relationships? Like,
I think that's such a good question because but the context is different, right?
Yeah.
In the past, right, there's no technology, so people can be a little bit more present, I feel, right? Whereas today we have tools, right? And we can see a clear trend that tools are, are huge parts of our lives now, right?
Yeah.
Especially in TikTok. You create content,
Yeah.
right? To get people to, engage a little bit more. And sometimes, and those are things that can be addictive, right? And it's quite hard to control, right? So many people say it's a double-edged sword, right? So I think the important part is learning how to use the tools properly, right? And being aware about it. This is something that Jing always tells me every time, and she gets very frustrated, right, when I keep on using the phone for reasons that she don't understand. Maybe it's on TikTok, maybe some like I go to the stock market, etc., or like X, or like sometimes scrolling Facebook or in general, a little bit of minor scrolling, right? And I do appreciate her telling me, right, that I need to be back in the moment, right? I need to have those quality time with one another. And that's why I really appreciated, the times where we went out with our phones, just bring like $50 notes, and we were like thinking, how can we spend this? Because currently we have phones, right? We can just spend wherever. Now we have to actually think about how do we account for this $50, like $30 chicken rice. After that, actually she can do a browse for $15, and other $5 you can spend eating, some kind of pastries or in general. And those are, pretty intentional moments that we gradually learn to appreciate lah.
Yeah, it was kind of like a problem for us in the past. I think I used to say like, we spend so much time together, but then it's not quality time. And that's something that we actually brought out in our wedding itself. We talked about the conflicts that we have in our relationship because we wanted to be more human, right? So one of the things was like, spend a lot of time together, but I felt that, we're not really connecting on a much deeper level. Yeah, but meanwhile, Zhi Qun in his mind is like, but we spend so much time together. We're at work. I see you outside work as well. And there's like, no space, like what you mentioned.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, that's a very good segue bringing to you guys work together and live together. So like, for the term, there's no space. Yeah, and like, there can be different issues, right? Or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's so cute. I mean, in hindsight, it's so cute. Oh, we work together, we live together, everything, But like, maybe, to go into a more like positive question I have here, it's like, so how do you guys maintain that, that healthy relationship, knowing being in this situation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a good question. I feel us being in a relationship, right, in this context, right, is us playing the game in hard mode. In a sense.
Okay.
Right? Because we jump into it as business partners, right? And we have to learn about each other. And then things become a little bit more complicated, right? Where we have to find the line or draw the line or set the boundaries, right? And at the point of time, there's no such vocabulary for us, right, internally. And we have to figure that out, right? And I wish I can tell you everything went smoothly, but no,
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. It was a shit show in a sense, right? Well, it was really chaotic, and we are all over the place, and we were fighting every other day. And it's probably one of the most darkest part of our journey, right? Yeah. How do we in work things are happening, and we are having complaints, or like we got our accounts being scammed, like our Facebook accounts were like scammed for
was hacked, and we lost lots of
we lost lots of money, and at the same time like we were quarreling on the side as well, right? And in day to day, like she's not happy with me on this different aspects, right? So how do we juggle that? So it's incredibly difficult. But at the same time, I want to say, I will not have it any other way, because it forces us to confront all these difficult challenges and difficult moments, right? Where we learned how to communicate with one another. We learned how to understand each other's differences, right? Although it takes some time and a lot of emotional energy. And after all those, right, I felt that we built such a strong foundation in our relationship that very few people will be able to build, if not for all the things that we've gone through, right? So I was very grateful for that lah, right? And Ben, I always think about relationships in this manner where it's almost like a hockey curve,
Right.
Right, you start off pretty good, right? Where there's harmony, you see each other. I'm pretty sure you experience a bit more of the harmony, right?
Yeah.
Like everything's good, you know. She's pretty attractive, she's fun, she's personal. I don't really understand her well, right? That's the reason, right? And then you starts with harmony, but gradually you will definitely go into a sense of disharmony, right? Where I understand a little bit better about her. Actually, she has this flaw. She has that flaw. She's ugly in this manner, and she hates me in that manner, right? And those come together. And how do you navigate? And that's the point where you hit the
Rock
trenches, right? And that's the point when most people actually break off, right? But understanding a bigger, longer-term view of relationships, where actually, if you survive those periods of time and you build skill sets to power through some of this and use that to your advantage, where you are flawed, I'm flawed, we will work on each other and we will help each other work with one another as well and grow, not only individually but also together as a partnership, right? I think that is very powerful and that's very endearing, and that's what helps us to go into that hockey curve up.
Which is like repairing the relationship.
Which is exactly like learning how to repair those differences, having the skill sets to do so, and having those difficult conversations early on, right? So that you'll be able to build stronger. And so now I think we are at a stage where we're growing instead of like dealing the trenches. And I can't say I've never been in a happier position, right, with her, right? And I'm enjoying every new day for new challenges and growing new parts and wanting to work on ourselves even more, right? Just to add on a little bit more, like recently we went on a trip to Jeju, right?
Nice.
For a month or so, right? A lot of uncertainties because we are having a newborn and in general, as you can imagine, right? And lots of stuff. So two things I think we work on during that trip is, one is to have more empathy, right? And the fun story is that we went to Korea, and in general, I hope I don't offend any Koreans. we do feel that maybe hospitality-wise, like may might not be very polite, right? And one example is we went to a 7-Eleven, the equivalent there. We wanted to dispose one of our baby diapers, so we bought something nice there to make sure that we don't just go there just to dispose the diapers. But after that, we threw it anyway, and the staff came over and she gave us a very discerning look, and she picked up the soy diapers from the dustbin and says, "No, you can't throw it here." Right? And it was a pretty ugly situation, I can imagine. And it's like, oh, we paid for this, and so we were a little bit upset about it, right? But that's where we thought a little bit deeper and reflecting on that to think about, hey, maybe it's the context, right? In the culture in Korea, where they want to be more they need to sort out their rubbish in a sense, right? And it's going to be a very huge mess in general. So again, coming back, thinking about how other people will perceive you, right? And understanding each other's circumstances, right? And I think that helps us to empathize, and that helps us to also be better in our own relationships as well.
Yeah. So whenever you feel like you're angry, right, and having all these emotions, we'll tend to become more curious instead. So instead of like, looking inwards and be like, okay, maybe this person is having a bad day, or maybe their, upbringing causes them to react this way and things like that. So we become more curious instead of like victim mindset and all that.
Right. It's like, basically, it's how you look at it, right? The first reaction.
Yes.
About through understanding first rather than reaction. Which is also very good to have that in relationships, right? Perfect. If you can do it for external situations.
And that's all skill sets, right? Where you apply to your own relationship to others as well, right? Go ahead.
Relationships are really hard work. We went for a marriage preparation course, and I think that really also taught us a lot of very important skill sets like conflict resolution and things like that.
And also, like, I guess, coming back to KopiDate, right? So, like, in your experience, everything, what are the shadows of dating then now, especially in our maybe local context or in Singapore or in general? Yeah, from this founder's point of view, what you've seen and what you've experienced.
Yeah, great question. Very deep one.
Yeah. Shadows of dating.
So if you look at relationships and dating in general, right? How someone would go into dating really depends on their inner mental models towards what relationships and dating is, right? And if you go a little bit deeper down, I like to think of things in first principles manner, right? If you go a little bit deeper down, it's really about your upbringing, right? The kind of relationships that you have growing up, right? Because all those mini micro interactions that you have growing up, how your parents treat you, what kind of environment are you in school, right? How your relatives treat you, and your perhaps sibling-related relationship dynamics. Maybe whether or not you're the eldest son or the youngest daughter. This is an inside joke that we have. She's the youngest daughter, I'm the eldest son, so we have an interesting dynamic. And that all constitute into your inner kind of like mental model, right? Of how you think and how you approach relationships, and that will be stuck within you. Right, and if you don't do anything about it, you grow up with that level of inner model, and everything that comes in, you push out in that manner, right? So, and everyone have unique environments, right? Yourself as well, right? With your relationship with your dad, right? I'm not sure if you have siblings, right? And how that plays out, right? And of course, you experience loss, right? Early on in your life, and then that's a very profound memory that you will have, and that will play into your future ideas of relationships as well, right? What does a mother figure look like, right? And how do you reconcile with that, right? And that will play out very clearly and loudly in the way you date, in the way you interact. And maybe Jing can share a bit more about your personal struggle in terms of relationship shadows.
Yeah, for sure. Like I mentioned, to me, shadow means like attachment style, right? So therefore, attachment style: secure, disorganized, avoidant, and anxious, I believe. Yeah, I don't come from a very secure one, so it's avoidant, unfortunately. But I think it's about it's about taking responsibility of that and learning to, first of all, be very aware of that, and then, knowing, what are your triggers and how you can actually manage that. So I'm someone who is very avoidant or conflict. I'm scared. As a youngest child, I have kind of like a bit of very strict parents or critical parents. So sometimes I'm very scared to say what I want to say. I feel scared. Am I saying the wrong thing? And I feel very insecure sometimes. So I'm learning to become a more secure person in general. They call it unsecure attachment. Tujin bought this book for us, it's called
Disturbances.
Attachment Disturbances in Adults, and it's for us to, become better parents. But I think I learned a lot from that book, and I really encourage everyone to read that, because it's not just like every other book. It has lots of like, scientific, backing to it, and I really enjoy that kind of like, content in general. So yeah,
Yeah, and I think it's incredible that she's joining us today, because she's not usually the media person, right?
Okay.
And,
usually you.
Yeah, usually I'll share a bit more, right? And I asked her, like, are you nervous, right? Given that you want to join me on this, right? And what she said makes me feel very comforting and feel very loved as well. She mentioned that, it's okay. I would love to do this with you, right? Because that is something that makes me I'm not afraid to make mistakes, because you'll correct me and you know me best, you understand me well, right? And I love that, right? Because she's telling me that, she trusts me, right? She understands me and she loves me and she wants to do this together with me, right? But anyway, the book is very dense. I'm not sure. It's almost like an encyclopedia, right? And goes deep down into the concepts. But I think overall, Jing, we were working together on evolving our attachment styles and understanding a little bit more. And I think that's one of the core things that we see people growing up. And not just attachment styles, also different inner kind of challenges that they face, right? Ben, do you have any, do you feel that in this context of shadows of dating, right? I want to delve a little bit deeper and feel really comfortable with what you want to share.
Sure.
Do you have any shadows or struggles you feel that from your childhood that you bring up to the dating perspective in your dating life right now, or perhaps your relationship life in general?
So for me, I think it's a bit of interesting situation, right? So I think for the longest time I've been very secure myself, secure in relationships even. Like I don't get very jealous or very anxious in relationships. For me, I'm very simple. As I choose you, and if you told me you choose me, I trust you. and I don't have the, where are you? Who are you talking to? Or why? I'm like, the world is very big, you know, there's so many things to do, right? But the interesting thing about me is more like I think it's more like what I've seen my parents in their relationship.
Yep. Yes.
And what I don't want mine to be.
Yes.
So I like the screaming, the shouting, the sometimes I don't want that. So I don't think that builds anything. So if anything, it's like when relationship, I will never do it.
Yeah.
But when my partner does it, then that's when I get a bit like, I think it affects me a lot more than usual because, you know, I'm like, you know, I really don't like to be shouted at for nothing.
Yes.
We can speak this.
Yes.
Or the lashing out or it's just, that's the one thing that really, really will affect me. Like, because it's the shadows from my past growing up, was looking at my parents' relationship and even relationships of like elders, witness growing up.
Yes.
The way they act in front of people, in public, everything. I'm like, no, I don't want. I don't want. And then of course I told myself, it starts from me lah. I don't do it to others. And I don't want that. I can tell her, I don't want you to do that. You know,
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it reminds you of like those experiences in growing up, right?
Yeah.
You see something like that and you feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's not, I mean, to me, it's like not pleasant. Like, you know, if I want to have like my partner next time, like I shouldn't have, everything should be able to speak. You know, shout is means we go together, go shout at people. How dare you say this about my family? Together we go fight. Yeah, but we must be solid.
Yes.
So that's
Great. Thanks for sharing. I think you brought up a very interesting point, right? Where, you know, a lot of our current expectations of relationship come from our upbringing, right? And our role models in general. And that's something that Jing and I think we resonated a lot, right? Of growing up, who are your role models in relationship? Usually it's our parents, right? And sometimes you rightfully point out that relationship might not be healthy. You might want to, it's negative role models instead, right? You want to move away from that instead of learning from that. Think of how do you move away from that, right? And I think that's very profound because how can we get more positive role models into this society, right? With healthy relationships, right? And interact with each other in a healthy manner and love each other in a healthy manner, right? And not be, be muddled by the idea of love and the idea of maybe attachment to power, right? Attachment to superficiality, to fame in general, right? Because I do feel that there can be a lot of cross sections around, like people will be thinking love is, I text you every day because I love you, right? I expect you to text me, reply my text every day because I love you, right? And that's not a very accurate way of depicting love, right? And I think that's a big topic that to go into as well. I don't think much time. But I think that's something that I think is very, 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 very important in general.
Relationships are hard work for sure.
Do you think, last question for me actually, do you think it's harder now than last time? I think there's a base level which is always the same. There's the same difficulty. But like for now, in our current state, current generation of technology or whatever.
You share your opinions.
I think not so really because now we have like more discovery and we know a little bit better about relationships, right? Have more research done on it. We have tools to therapy and we can go on, more inner work journey because know the importance of it and mental health as well. So I think it should be easier compared to our previous generation who don't have so much of education.
There'll be less inward understanding of themselves, I feel, right? Yeah.
Especially if like more podcasts like this and more conversations like this, right?
That's right.
I feel it is different stages, right? I think in the past, things are better where you mentioned that people are more in the present moment, people are enjoying themselves more, right? But at the same time, in the past, they have their own struggles, right? And they don't really, I'm less intentional about relationships because there wasn't a product at the point of time, right? So our parents might have their own ways of communicating with each other that is not so healthy, like shouting, conflicts and, hurrying, some kind of things that may not make each other feel respected in general, right? And but in today's world, I think that at least there's more conversations about that. The bad thing is that those are the things that we start off with, right? Because we grew up in that kind of environment from a previous generation, who are less intentional about dating. So we have to do the work moving forward, right? To educate ourselves, to help ourselves understand a little bit more about what actually is relationships. Right? Dating is not just like I'm here with a checklist and I say, yeah, I want someone is this, done. Right, I wish it was that simple. Right, unfortunately, that's not going to give you a very healthy longer-term relationship. Short-term wise, great, you get to go on a date, or you have fun, you get validated, great. But longer-term wise, you're going to struggle a lot, unfortunately. Right, so great conversation today, Ben.
Thanks for sharing.
Really enjoy your perspectives as well.
It's
right,
my first time meeting anyone who founded a dating app. So yeah, it's cool.
Nice. Yeah. So yeah, I think maybe one of the key things I want our listeners to take away is that relationships is hard work, right? I think it's important for us to recognize that and to acknowledge that it's not easy, right? And know that it's even harder to kind of want to work on it in general, right? So yeah, take the time to understand it, think about it from a longer term perspective, right? And and you'll be glad that you've invested in it, beforehand.
Okay, so thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Clean Your Toilet podcast and ignite your passion by doing your inner work today.